It's a surprise to me that I'm feeling a lot of warmth and joy at this time, Baruch Hashem. Even though it was like walking on knives to get here, but now, Baruch Hashem, the warmth and the joy. Judy's teaching me about, Judy taught me last night when I called her freaked out. And Baruch Hashem, thank you, Judy. Going to make a siyum masechta. Last night, I thought of the following things. I jotted down some sort of quasi-poetry into my Gemara. There's a pasuk in Sefer Malachim Beis, Perek Yud Tet, pasuk Chav Dalet, that says, "V'shasisi mayim zarim." I have drunk from strange waters. Rashi says, "Mayim novim kore zarim." Waters that are flowing are called strange because they haven't been seen or drunk before. They're brand new. And I think, for Rav Sholom Zal, you could tell that he knew the strangeness. That the depth of a life of faith in God does not mean making everything fit neatly. Mamish Adarabba, the opposite. Because life is so new, and there are real challenges with no pat answers. There's a Torah from the Heilige Sod Yesharim that he says that Ki sheishes yami masah Hashem es hashamayim v'sa'aretz, Hashem made the world in 6 days, but it's missing the preposition. It doesn't say Ki b'sheishes yamim. It says Ki sheishes yamim. And he brings a Zohar. It says that God created the world characterized by 6 measurements, which are the 6 sfirot from Chesed through Yesod, represent the days of the week. And he says people think that they can find comfort or sort of a path in life by just always answering with one way. They'll gravitate to one of those 6 sfirot, and they'll just always be really easygoing, or they'll always be strict, or whatever it is. And he says, really, that's not where real menucha is. Real menucha is holding all the possibilities, and that represents Shabbos. And Reb Sholom did not simplify life. He really was a Jew who gewalt. Because life is so new, there are real challenges with no pat answers. If we are truly to experience life as novea, then it will necessarily involve lots of unfamiliarity, like those waters, mayim zarim. Perhaps it was in this kind of a way that he was father-like in such a profound sense. Rav Sholom Zal, you could tell, he had been there. He knew, oh did he know, the strangeness and pain. And somehow, he made life better for us through this. He took the brunt of the winds of absurdity and somehow shielded us, not by stopping the rawness of our own experience, but by going there even more deeply than most of us would dare to. And thereby, he brought out such gorgeous, immensely vulnerable humanity to Yiddishkeit, such warmth, such flesh and blood, such humor. When I called my friend Yaakov Dov Miller last year, and I told him about Reb Sholom Zal's passing, he right away said, he was pretty soon in the conversation, he told me a joke that he remembered Reb Sholom telling. A man walks into a bar with a chihuahua, and the bartender says, "What are you doing?" He says, no, he says, "There's no dogs allowed here." So the man says, no, this is not a regular dog, it's a seeing eye dog. So the bartender says, "What? A chihuahua? It's a seeing eye dog?" And he looks at the bartender and says, "They gave me a chihuahua?" This is one side. And again, this is not summarizing, this is just thoughts in the middle of the night last night. One side of something I got from Rav Sholom, the strangeness. He was there, profoundly, and he didn't make life all neat and good. He was such an important model of that. And secondly, I heard him tell the following story a number of times, and I've told it to people, and they don't remember him telling it. For some reason, I heard this story from him a lot, and it struck me deeply, and in some way, I feel it encapsulates what I got from him when I was 14 years old, when I was blessed to have Reb Sholom as a 9th grade teacher, and he put light into my developing brain, and I'm mutated. And he said, so the following story a number of times, that he was a teacher at Salman Schechter, and he had a really terrible class. They wouldn't listen to anything. They just wouldn't listen to anything. And they had to do these projects, Torah projects. And it was like hours before it was supposed to be done, and they were mamish just running around doing nothing. And he said, let's do the simplest thing. We'll take the numbers of the Jews, the way they encamped around the Mishkan. We'll make a simple cylinder, and we'll just fold papers for each 100 or whatever it is, each 100, each 1,000 people, and put them around that cylinder according to how it was with the tribes. And he did this, and it was the most simplest looking thing. It was like pathetic, but he brought it out, and they put it with all the other projects, and actually, he said, everyone who looked at it, he said it was like that it was awakening an ancient memory. And it won first prize. This Meshuggah thing of a little cylinder and folded pieces of paper, like the last second stuck onto a big, huge cardboard. It won first prize over all the fancy whatever projects that other classes had worked on for weeks. And Rav Sholom was so struck by this. And it was like totally the opposite of strangeness. It was like they also see Hashem's touch, Hashem's presence in this precise form of encamping around the Mishkan. So these are just two different sides, the profound strangeness, the humor, the ridiculous, and the pain. And on the other hand, this incredibly perfect, ordered kind of sense of divine immanence that he also was so tuned into, and he just could give over in a way that is, I haven't seen anyone else who can do that. And I think that these two aspects are actually paralleled at the very end of Masechta Rosh Hashanah. The very end of the Masechta says, talking about a person davening and having in mind other Jews, and whether you could daven and your davening counts even for people who are out in the fields, people who are completely not connected. This obviously was something just bepashtus that Rav Sholom was, these Jews in Reno and the rural Vermont community, and on the other hand, there are the Jews of the cities. Yerushalayim is the city of all cities, and Rav Sholom made a beis medrash in this city. Baruch Hashem, we're continuing it, and it's Baruch Hashem. And these are two sides of the beyond, the fields, the wild, the strangeness, unordered, and the city. And the Gemara says, people who are out in the wild, so for sure, somebody davens and has them in mind, it counts for them. The mamish counts for them. It's like unclear whether they even have to realize it. It counts for them because they're anusim. They're out in the middle of nowhere. And there's someone who cares, so it goes, it works. But somebody who lives in the city and they could come to shul, so then it doesn't work. You have to go to shul, right? So really, it's both. These are these two sides: the beyond, strange, funny, painful, outside, and the kind of ordered chiyuv place of the inside of a city. And mamish, our generation is so complex. We're city mice and country mice, and we're city country upside down. We're everything. We're all I think I could speak for us all. We're all nuts. It's a very difficult time, just in general. and Rav Sholom somehow he gave us the permission. He modeled something. He loved us, and he still does. Okay. Last line. Sech Rosh Hashanah. Amar B'Yakov Bar Idi Amar B'Shimon Chasida. Lo pater Rabban Gamliel ela am shebasados. My taima mishum da'anisi b'malacha. Aval ba'ir lo. Hadron alach Yom Tif. V'sikol ha'mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. Hadron alach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'hadron alach Daitan alach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. Daita chalan l'nische minach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'lasisne she'im minan v'almadein v'almadei aseh. Hadron alach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'hadron chalan Daitan alach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'daitach alan l'nische minach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'lasisne she'im minan v'almadein v'almadei aseh. Hadron alach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'hadra chalan Daitan alach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'daitach alan l'nische she'im minach mesechtes Rosh Hashanah. V'lasisne minan v'almadein v'almadei aseh. Yiratzan Milfanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'hei b'seinu shetehei Torascha u'menuseinu b'lamazeh u'seimanu l'olam haba. Chanina bar Papa, Rami bar Papa, Nachum bar Papa, Achai bar Papa, Abba Mary bar Papa, Rafram bar Papa, Rachish bar Papa, Sur Chav bar Papa, Ada bar Papa, Dar bar Papa. Harav na Adonai Eloheinu es divrei Torascha v'finu fiyais amcha beis Yisrael. Niach kulanu anachnu v'tzetzeinu v'tzetzei amcha beis Yisrael kulanu yoidei shemecha v'loi medei Torasecha. Me'oivai secha kmeini mitzvesecha ki loilam hili v'samim b'chukecha l'man lo eivosh loilam la'eshkach b'gvudecha kivam chisani v'ruch atah Adonai l'amdeni chukecha amen 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 tzalavaed moedim anachnu l'fanecha Adonai Eloheinu v'basinu shesamta chalkeinu miyoyshe v'beis amedus ולא שמת חלקנו מיוש וקרונה שאנו משקיעים והם משקיעים ואנו משקיעים על דברי תורה והם משקיעים דברים בטלים אנו עמלים והם עמלים אנו עמלים מקבלים שכר והם עמלים והם מקבלים שכר אנו רצים והם רצים אנו רצים לחיל המבוא והם רצים לבאר שחס שנאמר ואת אלוהים תורידם לבאר שחס עד שדם ירבה לא יחצו ימיהם ואני אבטח בך ירצם מלפניך אדוני אלוהי השם תזרתנו נסיים מסכת ראש השנה Kein tazveni l'haskil masechtas esfarim ha'cheirim l'sayim lilmud l'lam l'ishma v'lasos l'chaim eskolvi v'samot v'secha v'ahava v'schus kol ha'tanayim v'amarayim v'tamidei chachamim yamod li l'zari shelasamu shator mipiyum pizarim v'zarzari ad olam as yiskayim bi v'salecha chasancha esak v'shachlecha sishmar alecha v'achitzoisa hises yichecha ki vi yirbu yamecha v'yisilecha shinois chaim Oirech yami mimina smelo shel chol Adonai oiz la'amo yitin Adonai avarchas amay v'shalayim. Gili nishmas Reb Sholom Yosef Yikasil Zisha. Yiskadav yiskadash Shemei Lavo Ve'om adu asi dischalika L'achya Messiah l'achya l'chayalma L'mivnei kata d'Yerushalayim L'shachlei lechalei b'gavei L'me'akar pulchana l'chra me'ara L'atava pulchana d'ishmaya l'asrei L'yamri kutchabrichu v'malchusei L'karei v'chayei koin Ubiyoy mechoin V'chayei l'chol beis Yisrael L'adol mizman korir V'imru amen Le'olmeo hayo Yizborar v'yishtabach V'yizborar v'yisramah V'yisnava v'aseh V'yisavadar v'yisalo v'yisalo Shmei t'chut jabrichu Chasa v'shirasa, tush b'chasa v'kamasa, Tamir v'yalma v'imramen. Aval Yisrael el Rabbanan, v'al tamidei v'ayim, v'al kol tamidei samidei v'al kol mandi askin d'oraisa, v'yasa kadisha adei. V'cholas v'yasar, yeh v'choloi v'chavavai, China v'chizda v'rachamim, Shana, Mikol Avon Yishmaya, Livru, Amen. Rishon Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chaim Koivim, V'linu L'Kol Yisrael, Livru, Amen. Oy Se Shalom, Oy Se Shalom.